Hey guys, it's day 6 of the Game Dev TV Jam. It's been a very long day for me. It's been quite a frustrating one, but I've managed to achieve what I wanted to do in the end. So enjoy. Something occurred to me this morning. I was just kind of lying in bed and I suddenly realised I had this nice pretty explosion when the ship dies, but the actual ship doesn't go anywhere. It just floats around in space. I haven't actually destroyed it at all. I kind of forgot that, and it's one of those things where you just kind of need to like step away from the game and notice these things. So I still need to do another few little things. I need some kind of animation around the ship. I've got the sound of the thruster, but I kind of need like a little fire thing there. So there's still a few more things I need. Obviously I want to start splitting up these asteroids into the smaller versions to make it into more of a classic asteroid. At the moment it's a shooter and it works well as a shooter, but yeah, it needs a little bit more polish, and yeah, I definitely need to destroy the I destroy the asteroids of course, but I need to destroy the ship as well. Some more tweaks. So first of all, I've got some thruster fire on the ship, which is just a nice little particle effect that was already in the particle pack, and now I've got the asteroid splitting. So the way it works is, I'll just show you. Okay, so if I just slow this down, so if I get a big rock like this one here, it splits into the two sizes below it, and then when it gets to the smallest size, it splits into two of the same, and then obviously those get destroyed. So that should be, yeah. And then what they'll do is they spawn and then they split off in opposite directions, and the smaller they are, the faster they go. So if I fly around at a little bit of speed, that's just went to the edge of the screen there. You can get kind of pinged by the little ones if you're not careful. Whoa, whoa. So it's certainly looking a little bit busier with all the little ones kind of flying around. And then I've also just tightened up the death animation as well, so the ship does actually disappear and you don't just sit there floating in space. I've got an important decision to make at this point, because I've now got the basic asteroids game in place. The next thing that I would be doing would be implementing the planets, which is kind of like the rescue mission that I want to do in order to make the game fit into this tiny worlds theme. The problem that I have at the moment is this issue with the map. So I've just got to a point in the game here where I'm just kind of, if you have a look here, I'm just nearing the edge of the screen. If I flip over, if you watch this purple asteroid, it just disappears, and then we bump into a new one. If I go back up, that disappears, the purple one comes back. And the problem is, this isn't just a simple little thing that nobody will notice. That will just come across as a glaring bug, and because it only takes a few seconds to get from one side of the screen to the other, this is definitely something that the players would notice. I can't ignore it. So I had put in this sort of 10 by 10 grid as a little hack, trying to avoid dealing with the issue properly, but I can't avoid it. What I'm going to have to do instead is completely rewrite the way the world space is actually created. I think I'm going to need some kind of procedural generation, so you've got a section of the space and it just moves with the player. So as the player moves forward, I'll have sections from the bottom which get destroyed, and I'll create a new section on top, and so far. I think that's the only way I can do it in a way that's going to really make the world space feel infinite. So it's going to take quite a bit of work. I don't know how much time, but I just feel like I can't really submit it in its current form, because yeah, the player's only got to play the game for a few minutes and then it's just going to be very obvious what's happening. I've started on the rewrite of my code, so I've got something called a space generator, which is going to kind of create this world space kind of sector grid. The best way to show that is just to basically show it. So what I've got here is these blue squares are just a rendered gizmo showing me what I've created. So each one of these blue squares is like a sector in the grid, And at the moment I've got a 5x5. So the idea is right now the player is seeing this part of the screen. If I move up, what I want to do is as soon as if I stop there, as soon as the player enters anywhere along this outer grid, so in this case this top row, once they enter anywhere on the top row, I would want to destroy the bottom grid and then create a new row at the top. So they've always got a 3x3 area around them which they can see. They can never see the outer edges, but they're there for that consistency because there's always going to be part of the screen available. So I think that should work. So the next stage is going to be to then detect when the player is in one of these outer sectors. So I'm calling it a sector. And then to regenerate the new one. At the moment, I don't have any asteroid spawning. I'm going to have to rewrite that as well. But that should be fairly easy once I've got the actual sectors moving. So that's the main part that I need to get done. It's I'm having to kind of really think to get my head around it. But I think this is going to be a very useful technique that I'm probably going to use in many games. If I can get this right, it'll be worth doing. I've been working on this code for so long, all afternoon, but I've got something working now. So this yellow box represents a kind of a safe zone that the camera is allowed to sit in before it kind of like moves the grid. So as the player moves, if I just zoom out here, you can see that it basically moves the world as I move the player. So I did have a lot more footage actually because I've spent so many hours on this. I basically had to rewrite the code about 3 times. What was happening was that it was fine in just going in one axis, so like just going up or going sideways. As soon as I hit kind of a corner edge, which you do a lot, it would crap out and stop working. So right here, you probably can't see that. My face is in the way, but it says camera is in a corner. We're shifting the grid on both axes, and it's now something that I'm explicitly testing for. So I've kind of got a procedural world now, but I still have a problem. So I've tried to put back in the spawning code. So if I just turn on the spawning is not working properly. So if I just turn that back on, right, I've just hit play. And this is what it's showing. So what it should be doing is, basically in every sector, I'm asking it to populate that sector, and it's spawning 8 asteroids, but they should be in a kind of a uniform layout across the sector, and instead they're all spawning kind of like right in the middle of it, which is not what I want. So I'm getting there, but it's still not quite right. At this point, it is 9 p.m. on Thursday. I have spent the entire day working on this. There has been lots of swearing. There is now alcohol. And I'm feeling pretty fried. I've actually made like a decision at this point. So, loads of stuff to shoot. Yeah, I've made a decision at this point that I don't think I can create the kind of game that I want to create in the time frame of this jam. I have got 2 full days left, but I'm sure I'll be able to fix this spawning problem easily enough. That should be fine. And then I'll have a good playable asteroids game, but I won't have the rescue mission, the saving the dying planet, which is kind of like the point of this whole game. The asteroids part was just there to kind of like set the scene, to give it a background, to give the player something to do. But the real meat of the game is going to be the rescue mission surrounding the dying planet, and I just don't think I've got time to do that in 2 days. But I don't want to try and rush it. Today I've got really stressed out, and it's, to be honest, it's not just today. It's like I've been neglecting things. I do karate, and I didn't go to karate this week. I've not done stuff around the house. I haven't been eating properly because I'm like, I've got to do this work. I've got to do this, get this game done for this jam, and it's not good. to be like stressing that way. You know, this is creating games for me is really fun. And this has been actually really cool to get this done, to actually procedurally generate a world in this way, this infinite world. And yet it's caused me so much stress because I've been so panicky about the time frame of the jam. So yeah, I think as soon as I've got something that is nicely playable as an Asteroids game, I'm just going to submit it to the jam, leave it alone in terms of the submission there, and then I'm just going to create a second project on it, which is going to be the game as I envision it, and then I'm just going to carry on working on it for as long as it takes to get to create the game that I want to create. Because I'm actually really liking this game so far. It's been so much more fun to play than any of the other games that I've created, and I really think I can do something nice with this game, but just not within the time frame of the jam. So I'm going to leave this video here. Even if I fix this later on tonight, I can't be asked to do any more video editing. We're like 9 p.m. now. So I'm just going to leave it there. This has been a bit of a frustrating day and a frustrating video, but if you have watched it, then thank you for watching.